So I posted on our Instagram story last week about these personalized GIFs that I made for Farley, and I got a lot of questions from that asking, how did you do that? So I thought it would be a good opportunity to make a tutorial video um, to show you guys how I was able to do that so that you can do your own. So I'm gonna go through 3 steps. First, we'll talk about how to make the GIFs in Photoshop. So all you'll need for that is a picture that you want to turn into a GIF and access to Adobe Photoshop. The second part will be how I created a brand channel in Giphy, and that's how you're able to make your GIFs searchable in Instagram stories. And then the last part will be other options for sharing the GIF that you've created if you're not able to create your own Giphy brand channel. So those are the 3 things we'll go through today, and yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna try and make this tutorial really quick so that you don't get bored. So if you're trying to follow along, you might have to rewatch it a couple times. I'll also post it to YouTube in case that might be easier for you to watch it on your computer. And yeah, let's get started. So first we're gonna open up Photoshop, start a new file, and you can choose any size that you want. I like doing 1080 by 1080 pixels. And go to the photo that you want to use to make your own GIF and drag it into Photoshop. I'm just going to make a little room here. Move some of my panels around. Okay, then you just drag the corners of your photo until the part that you want to keep as your GIF is taking up most of the canvas. Okay, that looks pretty good. Hit enter. Now you're gonna, I'm just gonna get rid of that background layer, I don't need it. And now you're gonna create your mask. So go to select and mask, and go to the top selection and hit the button that says select subject. And that's going to do most of the work for you right there. You can use these drop downs to look at your mask on different backgrounds. And then I'm going to zoom in and clean up the different areas. So the top one is a smart selector that kind of looks at the colors in your image and kind of tries to guess what you would want to add or remove. And then just switching between the hand tool and the marker tool here, but you can see in the top there's a plus or minus, so I'm trying to delete stuff, so I'm using the minus. And to get rid of this leash, I'm going to use the regular marker tool, and I'm just going to select the subtract and delete the parts that I don't want. And you can be as precise as you want about this. Oh, and here I'm just showing you if you accidentally erase too much, you can just use the addition part and just add it back in. And that's kind of what it looks like on some different backgrounds. And now I'm going to go down here and increase the smooth. And that just makes it so that your mask is kind of smoother, I guess. And the contrast just makes it sharper. And then I also just shift the edge in a little bit. I'm going to go in here and clean up this part, but you can be as precise as you want. Like, remember, it's going to be a tiny little GIF and you're not going to see a ton of detail. So spend as much or as little time cleaning it up as you want. So I'm just using the regular marker tool here and the subtract and just erasing the little bits that I don't want there. And if you double click the hand tool, that brings you back up to full size. Right, and scroll down to output, choose layer mask and click OK. And there is your, that's your main image that you're going to be using. So I'm going to duplicate this because I want to have 4 images in total to create the animation for my GIF. And then I'll just, I'm going to unlock all of the layers except for the first main one. And then I'm going to drag them into order so that I can keep track of them. Okay, so select the first copy of the layer, go to edit, and free transform, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Control T. And I'm just gonna rotate this layer to the clockwise direction. So if I just hide all these other layers, you can see how the first layer is straight up and down and the second layer is kind of rotated. I'm gonna leave the third layer straight up and down, and the fourth layer I'm gonna do the transform again, and I'm gonna rotate it counterclockwise. So you can kind of see what the GIF's gonna look like. It's gonna be this picture of Farley kind of bouncing from right to left. And I'm just gonna go in and rotate them a bit more, just so the movement in the GIF is a little bit more pronounced. And I like adding my Instagram handle to it, just so that when people use it, they kind of know where it came from. So yeah, so I just added in a text layer and I put just being Farley. I increased the size on it, and I'm gonna add an outline to the text. So you do that by going to layer, stroke, and then I set that to 4 pixels and use all those settings, and there you go. So that has my little Instagram handle on it so that it's recognizable. I'm just going to drag that text layer to the top, and then I'm going to use the free transform again. I'm going to just rotate that and put it where I want it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to save the 4 different images so that I can put them together in a GIF. So go to export, quick export as PNG, and I'm going to name all these files in sequential order. So yeah, hide the first layer, show the second layer, export it, hide that layer, show the next layer, export it as PNG. Keep doing that until you have all 4 layers. Right, and I'm just going to save this Photoshop file in case I want to come back to it. All right, perfect. And now we can close that. Now you're going to go to Scripts, load files into Stack, and then choose the 4 images that you just exported as PNG files, and hit OK. And that'll bring up your 4 different files in different layers. I'm just going to go to Window and Timeline to show the timeline at the bottom. Create a frame animation, and then make frames from layers. This might not show up in the right order, but just drag them so they're in the order that you want. And select a duration for each frame. And hit play, and that's what your GIF's gonna look like. Then go File, Save As. Save it as a GIF. Give it a name. And I just leave all these settings as they are. And that is it. So with all these steps, you've now created your GIF. Next thing you're going to do is open up your Giphy account. And go to Upload. And just drag your file onto the upload. And add some tags. So this is going to be how people can find your GIF once it is public. So I'm using just being Farley so people can find it that way, and a few other descriptive words. And then upload to Giphy. Now it will show up in your channel with all the other GIFs that you created. There it is. So in order for your GIF to be searchable on Instagram stories, you have to have a Giphy brand channel. So if you search for Giphy create brand channel, it'll take you to this page and it'll show you your application requirements. So you have to have at least 5 GIFs uploaded to your account. And then there's a few other things. You have to have an email address that
kind of shows your brand name at the end of it. You should have a website that has your brand name in it. So obviously this isn't going to be for everyone. But if you do have all these things, that's how I was able to make my GIF searchable on stories. So that's how they're searchable here. But there are other options. So if you have an iPhone, you can download the Giphy app. And if you go to your GIF in the app, you can save that to your camera roll. If you open it in your camera roll and copy, and then open up your Instagram stories, you can add the sticker there.
So if you have an Android, unfortunately, you're not able to copy and paste GIFs the same way as you can on an iPhone. So unfortunately, I haven't found a different way for Android users to be able to use the GIFs that they've created and paste them into their stories. So I guess we can just hope that there will be an Android update sometime in the future where we can do that. If you're an Android user and you know how to copy and paste GIFs from your camera roll onto your Instagram story, let us know in the comments so that other people who are watching this video can benefit from your knowledge. Thank you so much for sticking with us through this long video. If you do create your own GIFs and use them in your stories after watching this tutorial, tag me in your stories so that I can see it. I'd love to see what you guys can create after watching this tutorial. All right, I think this little one needs a nap. Thanks so much, guys.